Hello, and welcome to Beginning Drawing for Kids with Miss Carrie. Today, we are going to start building with our shapes and textures. So, let's see what we can make. Today, I'm just going to be using a number 2 pencil. Make sure it's nice and sharp. Have your eraser handy, and you may want a blending tool. I think the easiest thing to do is to look around your house and pick an object to draw. Now, I'm going to choose a bed because everybody has a bed in their room, correct? So we're going to make a bed. The first thing you need to think about is what shape is your bed. So we know the mattress is kind of a long rectangle, and we're going to start by making that long rectangle for the mattress. Now, depending on where you put your next lines will determine how your bed is facing. So remember, when we're making something look like it's 3D, we're going to make parallel lines, and I'm going to make a subtle line here. And I don't want it too long because, you know, most people's beds aren't that big. And, okay, so we have the line here. We're going to make it... we have to make sure it's the same angle to make it a parallel line. If it's not the same, don't worry about it. It'll be a crazy looking bed and it'll be awesome. So we're gonna bring that parallel line here and here, so it almost looks like a bar of soap, but it's gonna turn into a bed. All right, no, where's that parallel line? That parallel line, there we go. And this is where your eraser comes in very handy because you're going to sketch, sketch, sketch until it looks like it's correct. And that's mostly correct, so we're good. So now we have our mattress. But most people don't just sleep on the floor on a mattress, but you might, and that's fine if that's what you do. But we're going to make our horizon line here. So we want our bed to be off the floor. So I'm going to make our horizon line just like that. So now I have a floating mattress. That means I'm going to need to put a bed frame on there. So we can't be hovering while we're sleeping. That would be dangerous, right? So let's make a bed frame. So what does your bed frame look like? Is there bars? Is there a nice rainbow headboard? What is it going to look like? I like to start by putting legs on the frame. So I know there's going to be a board here underneath that holds the mattress. So I'm going to go ahead and make that first. Alright, so we got that in place. But now we need some feet to the bed. So we want to make sure it gets down to the floor. And it's usually a rectangle. But we always have that 3D look, so we're going to go all the way up with this one. There we go. Now this one needs a foot. So in order to make sure that we are in the same parallel line, we want to take this line and this line, kind of eyeball it and see if they're the same. And that's how you know where the next leg should be. Okay, so we have 2 legs on our floating mattress. So let's go over this way. So we want it to be the same. So again, we're going to make that parallel line all the way across. It doesn't have to be perfect, so we know where that next leg is going to be. All right. What about this leg? Are we going to see it? Let's see. So this is where that leg goes, if we follow our horizon line and we make a line down our bed, our foot of this bed will end up right here, just like so. That's when you take your eraser and we now erase those extra lines. So we don't need the extra lines in the picture. Alright, so we have legs on the bed. Now we have to determine if we have a headboard and a footboard, or maybe the headboard's over here and the footboard is over here. So I'm going to make it facing this way, so this could be the headboard, and maybe, let's see, maybe it's more like here. And you can always readjust. There's no problem with erasing. So if that's there, then maybe I make another wall line here, and that would be the edge of my room. Alright, so now it's right up against the wall. But we want a headboard, so I'm going to make a little half circle for the headboard, and we want it to be thicker than just right on the wall. So we're gonna make sure that we add some depth to that. So I took a little bit of the mattress off, and I'm going to do the same thing here, because I want it to look like the headboard is not flat on the wall. So think about what goes on to your bed. So maybe you don't have any posts down here, which is fine. You just have the mattress. So what goes on your bed? We have pillows, maybe you have a sheet, maybe you have a teddy bear. So the other thing you need to think about is your mattress very square, or is it curved at the edge? And if it's curved at the edge, we want to make sure that our corners are not super tight, they are curved, so that it's a nice soft mattress, right? We don't want a very hard, pokey mattress. Alright, so let's think about a pillow. So you want to go with the same angle or parallel line. So we want our pillow to be this way, and maybe it's the shape of a long marshmallow. Now I made the outline, but guess what we have to do now? Use our eraser. So get your eraser and take out those lines in the middle of your pillow. There we have it. So now you have kind of a pillow going on here. And again, if you're using sketches, those will be a lot easier to erase. And if not, sometimes the smudges work to your advantage. So we have a pillow. What else do we have on our bed? Maybe we have some blankets. We're gonna put our blanket this way. We're gonna round it over the edge. Maybe it hangs down and hangs down a little bit there. So now that I have a blanket on there, I can erase some of these lines, and we'll make this line more subtle. It doesn't have to be so harsh, because you can use the shading techniques to kind of shade. So we have our dark side here, and maybe it's dark over in this corner, and on top here, and there you have it. And that kind of forms the way your bed looks. Now, what would you put on your bed? You can continue to add more and more lines and add to your bed. Would you add a stuffed animal? Maybe your blanket has a design on it. Depending on what you want it to look like. And you can just keep on adding and giving it more and more depth. So I'm gonna keep shading here so you can kind of see what it looks like to have it shaded. And again, your lines don't have to be perfect at all. Maybe you have things hanging on the walls. Maybe there's stuff under your bed. However you do it, I'm just trying to show you that you can make anything out of the shapes that you choose to use. Maybe your bed has some cylinders on it, or a triangle. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? So we have our bed going there. Let's see. Use our shading tool to shade around our headboard here. Alright, and there you have it. Let's see what you build. Maybe you build your desk that you have been working at for school, or anything. I will see you again next month as we draw more items. Thank you so much for joining me.